Hello?
We have one extra day that we go without recording. And we suddenly have a million news topics.
Can you believe it?
And we are 8 seconds into this podcast, and I'm already overwhelmed, and I'm already exhausted. So wish us luck, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the thing is it was like, oh, pre-planned. We usually do Sunday. We are going to do a Monday recording. Nothing big could happen on, a Sunday night.
Everything happened on Sunday night.
Everything happened on Sunday night.
Oh my, but imagine if we recorded on Sunday then I was driving in my car home from recording this podcast and you text me saying Taylor's releasing something.
We'd be furious.
We'd be furious.
Like it would be awful to upload something so out of date, and we're always on the pulse, darling.
Exactly.
That's what people know us for.
I know.
The pulse types.
The pulse. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Two Gay Matts podcast. It's Matt Steele.
And it's Matt Palmer.
And as we said before, we are recording this a day late, but not a dollar short.
Absolutely not.
And we have a lot to talk about today, but first we are going to talk about our weeks.
Yes.
Matt Palmer,
yes.
I guess you go first.
I guess.
You've done a lot more this week than I have.
I mean, I did go to Seattle. I visited my friend Justin, his boyfriend Andy.
It was Justin's birthday on Sunday.
Sunday was Justin's birthday. Happy birthday to Justin. And Justin and I have been friends friends since high school, and so it's always good to catch up with friends like that. Seattle also is gorgeous, which I guess I knew in theory, but I didn't know. Like, there's just so many bodies of water everywhere.
Had you never gone to Seattle before to visit Justin? I thought you did.
I didn't.
Oh.
That's just why it was good that I went. It had been a minute. Some of that was COVID's fault. Some of that was mine. But he has a lovely townhouse. He has like a lovely home. And
good for her.
I mean, killing it. And then again, the bodies of water, just like it was very autumnal. Like the first day we got there, it was very hot and like, oh, we're getting to see like the summer side of Seattle. And then it turned on a dime. I'm telling you, went from highs of like 88 when we were on the Space Needle that first day to highs of, I want to say 62.
Oh no! How did you pack? Were you expecting this to happen?
I was. So
I
was
like, furious.
I have like one pair of shorts and then like long sleeves after that. And so we went and went out of town a little bit and saw a waterfall, which was lovely. Went to a park, so many views. It just is like we sat right on the water to have a drink, a little happy hour moment. It just was so lovely. So great to meet all of his friends who I had heard so much about but had not met. So getting faces to names was lovely. It just was, also great to not have work. Like taking days off of work and using that PTO. You got to do it, people. Like, I'm always a big proponent of closing that computer right when you are off the clock. And I'm also a big proponent of using your paid time off because there's nothing better. I just put in for 2 weeks over Christmas. So hope nobody needs me to do anything because I'm leaving my work computer here as I fly across the country.
What if someone drops something big and at your other job, Two Gay Matts, you have to suddenly work? Are you going to take your time off?
I will have my Two Gay Matts equipment with me wherever I go.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So if Act 2 Renaissance drops.
She wouldn't drop it on like Christmas Day.
Girl.
You never know.
Maybe not Christmas Day, but like maybe like a December 19th.
All right.
We got it December 13th.
I will have my stuff with me, okay? Jeez.
I'm just saying, be prepared.
Gosh, I'm always prepared. When have I not been prepared?
I'm just saying.
Okay. So Matt Steele.
Yes.
How was your week?
It was fine. I did none of the exciting, relaxing, fun things that Matt Palmer did during his week, but that's okay because, I work so hard in my life.
Okay.
I just had work. I also, my friend Alicia is out of town, and so I'm looking after her cats. Like I'm going over, every day and like feeding the cats. She just got a new kitten who likes to play and an older cat who does not like to play.
Okay.
And so I'm playing with the baby cat, and the baby cat's like trying to play with the older cat, and the older cat's just like, no, go away. And I'm like, no, Princess Tiana, come play with me.
Her name's Princess Tiana.
Her name is Princess Tiana.
That's very cute.
And Charlie is just like is not a fan of Princess Tiana, but I'm sure they'll grow to love each other. And what else did I do? I filmed, since Matt Palmer was away, I filmed a reaction video with our old friend Matt Harkenreiter, who I had not seen in several years. So that was an adventure because he was just flying into town because I forget from where, and I picked him up from the airport.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, because I was just like, you know what? He's doing this nice thing and like filling in for Matt Palmer.
Yes.
I was like, do you need me to pick you up from the airport? Because like, you know, he was going to take an Uber from the airport to my place and then Uber back from my place to his place. Like, it's like, that's so much money. Like, girl, I will pick you up.
That is very nice.
That's fine. Like at the airport, it was like 10 o'clock at night. So it was just like a 15-minute drive.
Okay.
So it was fine. And it was nice catching up with him. What else? I've been, you know, living off of the Big Brother feeds.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely insane. But yeah, no, it's been a relatively eventful week. Oh, guess whose birthday was also Sunday?
Whose?
And I went and I saw him, our good friend and my old roommate, Pastor Dan.
Pastor Dan, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. So I went to his place. So him and Justin share a birthday. So I went to his place that he's living at now, hung out in the backyard with like him and his friends, met a couple of his friends for a little bit. It was nice. It was fun.
You know who else's birthday was on Sunday?
Who?
Our friend Rory, who has been in videos. I think we talked about Mariah's World with him or something. And he's a lovely podcaster, comedian as well.
Justin has also been in a Two Gay Mats video.
Where
we are, it's the weirdest time. It was like back when we started making videos and we were like, you know what the people want to watch? Us playing charades.
Oh,
and it's like, why would anyone want to watch that? I don't know, but it was just the idea you had.
Wow.
And Justin was in town visiting.
And it was Justin and Jeff Majors, right?
Justin and Jeff Majors and Brian and Blythe were like taking score or whatever. So
wow.
If you were born August 28th, chances are you were a guest on the Two Gay Mats show at some point.
Absolutely. Or if you're a gay Matt in the LA area, we're looking for you to fill in because we all have busy lives and we only work with gay Mats and Janie.
And Janie. What if there was an episode of Two Gay Mats where we were both out of town and it was just like two random gay Mats?
I would love that.
I
think
would be so much fun.
If we want to do like an April Fool's of just like two random gay Mats hosting, I'd love that. I think that'd be excellent.
And we would have to like train them from like behind the scenes.
Right. It's like you're not doing it right.
You're not giving it enough.
Faster.
You're not giving enough. Oh, speaking of faster, like other podcasts I listen to, where there are some heterosexual men. I was like this one Big Brother podcast I listened to. Rob has a podcast. It's so funny because I listen to it at 1.5 times the speed. So it's like going extra fast. And they are still nowhere near as fast as how we sound when we talk to each other on the podcast.
I literally, sometimes I listen to our podcast and I'm like, should I be talking slower? Like, but the energy's so high.
I know. And we're so excited to see all the people.
And we have a lot to say. We're emotional and it makes us talk faster. I'm sorry. That's what it's like. Gays walk fast and they talk fast. Oh my God. Justin walks so fast. And you know, since I've been in LA, I've started walking more leisurely.
Yeah, maybe you just walk slow.
I don't feel like I do.
I've been told that I'm an extremely fast walker because I am. But like, I think it's a normal pace for me. Like whenever I'm meeting someone new and walking with them, they're always like, whoa, calm the fuck down. And I'm like, we need to go. We have places to go.
I'm just a stroll. I like to stroll.
I hate slow walkers.
Why?
I hate them.
I mean, you can go by me and like, I'll wish you all the best, but I'm not going, you know what I hate? Working out when you're not working out. So if ever I'm not in the gym or I'm not like, oh, I'm going for a run, which would never. But I'm going to be as leisurely as possible.
But do you consider like a walk
a fast one?
Out?
A fast
But
one.
what if it's not fast to you? Like I'm not breaking a sweat.
I'm going from my perspective. I can only see through these two eyes. So my normal is normal and fast is fast.
And guys, this is the objective opinion.
This is it. It's very objective.
This is how we measure everything.
All right, so wait, should we dive in? I feel like the Taylor folks probably want us to talk about the biggest news of the week.
Of the last 12 hours.
So last night, the end of the VMAs, Taylor Swift wins for the All Too Well short film, depending on who you ask.
She wins the Video Music Award for what she calls a short film.
Yes. And so she gets on stage. She brings Dylan O'Brien and I think another friend who I wasn't familiar with. But she gets on stage. She talks about, she's so happy. And, she had an idea that if she was so lucky to have won this award, which, by the way, I'm sure the only way she was coming is they probably told her, like, we swear you're winning. Please come. She's like, I would just announce that my new album comes out October 21st. And, well, you'll know more at midnight.
At midnight.
And so
little did we know.
I'm sitting in the Seattle airport on the Discord, which is in a disarray. If you're a patron, you got to get on the Discord because there are arguments out the wazoo. And Taylor drops this information. Midnight comes and I go to her website. It has crashed. But she does post on her Instagram a cover, which is like her with a cigarette, not a cigarette, a lighter.
Yes. It looks like a 1970s like art house film, like
Absolutely.
grainy quality.
She shows that side A will have 6 tracks, side B will have 7 tracks, a total of 13. Shock. And she tells us in the comments, Midnights, the stories of 13 sleepless nights scattered throughout my life will be out October 21st. Meet me at midnight. She writes a whole monologue about like this is 13 sleepless nights throughout her life, and she's going to talk about those personal moments she went through. It was a little unclear initially whether like, okay, so are we talking about songs that didn't make previous albums during these 13 sleepless nights, but it seems like no. It seems like we're revisiting those times, and she is writing from the perspective where she was at the moment. I feel like, and this is my conjecture, my theory, Joe Alwyn was like, okay, I love you. We can be together. You will never write about our current relationship. And she was like, okay.
Oh, you will never write about, but she writes about her current relationship in Lover.
She does a little, but nothing beyond. Because she's like, I'll write short stories. This one's about 2 teens. This is about like the girl who owned my house before. And like these are from sleepless nights throughout my life. Not now, though.
Interesting.
I think there's an agreement.
I enjoy the concept a lot. I think it, and I'm happy that it is something that is personal. She's singing about her own experiences because that is what she is so good at.
Brilliant.
And, you know, as wonderful as we love hearing about make-believe people who maybe lived in the house before her. Which is a great song.
That is a great song.
It's like when she writes about her own personal experiences, I just feel the stakes so much more in her music. So I'm excited. And I think this is a solid, strong concept. It seems like it could be a very emotional album. And I don't know, I think it's really solid, like a really solid idea. And if the songs are great, I'm excited.
I'm with you. I cannot wait to hear from her perspective because I feel like I also feel like as someone who, you know, is writing songs in a happy relationship, it's more fun to think about when things were like dramatic and terrible and amazing.
Of course.
Just like when you have a consistent long-term relationship, it's like no one wants to hear about that. We'd rather hear about Jake Gyllenhaal for the 900th time.
I know. Let's talk about that birthday party.
Let's talk about it.
Forever.
And so she's ready to talk about whatever she's going to talk about. October 21st is unfortunately also the day that Rae Jepsen was planning on releasing her album. We were planning on reacting to it that night, and we did change over to Taylor just because we have to. And it also was the day that Meghan Trainor's new album was supposed to come out. I feel like when Beyonce announced Renaissance, there was scattering of folks from July 29th. I think these ladies and anyone else who plans to release on that day could just take a break. You know, like just move it back a week. Like, and that's fine.
I mean, I'm sure that's harder. That's easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, I have distribution. You just press cancel.
I don't think Carly Rae is involved in the pushing of her own release button.
She's not, but her label, I'm sure, is hovering over that cancel button right now, okay?
Yeah, I was telling my new roommate, Travis, I was just like, I feel so bad for Carly Rae.
I do too.
And he was just like, she's going to be fine. Like she like people actually worry about this stuff for pop stars, and it's like, yes, we absolutely do.
We do.
Yeah, and I had to explain to him the whole, because you know it's also Kim Kardashian's birthday. People felt like that was shade or some sort of thing and everything. And he was like, why? And I had to explain to him the whole back.
Oh, he didn't know?
He didn't know at all.
Wow.
He's not. He doesn't know about that stuff. He's off. Probably living a more productive life than either of us.
I feel like people who are not Taylor Swift fans must think that Taylor Swift fans are completely insane, because I was seeing tweets, and the thing is, we are fans. Well, I don't think we'd be Swifties, but we are fans. But I was seeing tweets about like October 21st, 10 plus 1 plus 2 equals 13. And like, if you like had no idea what Taylor Swift, like her things were, would you not see that tweet and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And of course it's 13 tracks, which I appreciate, because as much as we love Taylor, sometimes her albums can be more recently a little overlong.
Yeah.
So it seems like she has called it to the top 13 tracks, and I'm excited to see what it's going to say. I just like from the cover can't get a complete grasp on like sonically where we're going. You know, like she's wearing makeup. It's of course going to be emotional. She has that second picture where she's like arm down on a table, like with a drink in her hand maybe. And like, it's going to be emotional, but like musically, I'm just glad we're out of the woods. But I would love to know sonically, what are we doing? You know what I mean?
It's interesting. I get a clear aesthetic from the visuals, and I say visuals as if there's more than two. But I get a clear aesthetic from it with the concept. To me, I don't know. I feel like I kind of know a direction that we're heading in, even if I can't pinpoint sonically exactly what it's going to be like.
I'm excited about it. And y'all, when we have this live reaction, we're going to give our honest opinions. Swifties know that we love Taylor. She's incredibly talented, even if some of her music's not for us. So please don't yell at us. I just need to say that up front. I'll probably be saying it for the next 2 months because people get mad
when someone has a category that big.
Yes.
You can't possibly like be in love with every single solitary thing.
The catalog's huge, and we'll have our opinions.
Did I say catalog or category?
You said category, but
did I say category?
You did, but I was gonna let you have it. I wasn't even gonna.
What happens when you talk too fast on a podcast?
I know, we need to slow it down.
There are times I re-listen to our podcast or videos, and I'm just like, oh, I just said the wrong word. Like, I remember this one time I said platitude when I meant to say multitude, and I was like, oh, those are completely different things.
I think that's fine. People get it's not really what you're saying, it's how you say it. People get the emotion behind it, and I think that's what's important.
People knew. I could hear it in my soul. In other huge news.
And things you could hear in your fucking soul. The legendary Miss Britney Spears went onto YouTube yesterday during the day before this Taylor announcement, right? Mm-hmm. And she released basically a voice memo. It was like a white screen. It was on her official YouTube channel, and it was a 22-minute description, explanation of her point of view of what happened to her during that conservatorship. She promptly deleted it pretty quickly after it was posted, but of course there are YouTube videos floating around discussing it. She basically is like, I have many offers on the table. Big sit-down interviews from Oprah are being pitched to me, and it just feels weird to make money off of my story in this way. I'd rather just get it directly to you. And so here's what fucking happened.
Amazing. The fact that she's like, I don't need fucking money.
No, why would she?
I don't need to sit down with Oprah. I just want to tell people what happened. So I'm going to open up my iPhone and record a voice memo.
And even though you could hear the emotion in her voice, it was not like, oh, this is my big emotional moment. It's like, I'm going to just tell you the facts.
Yeah, and I love that because I feel like if there was an Oprah interview, which is like I would still obviously watch.
I mean, maybe when the book's released.
Yeah, but like I feel like if there was like a big I feel like they would really dramatize it, and like the networks would milk every ounce of drama and emotion from it and everything. And it's like, is that right?
I mean, I feel like it is her story to tell in any way she wants to. So if she was going to monetize it, and I mean, maybe the book is a little bit of that. Sure. I would never hold any grudges, but I thought it was very brave and impressive. She sounds so clear-headed. Like the fact that they were trying to convince us and spin her into being some, someone who was out of control or out of their mind. And she's like, the worst thing I did was like chase around the paparazzi and like talk in a British accent.
And I thought it was fun.
I thought that was the most fun thing I ever did with my fame. So how this all happened to me, I can't believe. And she kind of goes in and talks about the reason I'm more mad at my sister and mother is, they were the ones that I thought were going to be on my side. And I was sent away to this treatment center because I said no to a dance move. They're running around with their kid playing baseball in my fucking beach house, and as if I was dead.
I like the fact that she was like, I was here like suffering and
horrible.
Like in this building that I did not want to be in while they were in my house. And it's like, whew, and just like the devastating point she makes is she's like, I did this show for however long, and she's like, and I know I was terrible.
Yeah, she's like, I was just going through the motions. I was a robot. I know it was fucking bad.
She's like, I just wore wigs because I didn't like want to I would just have like setting conditioner in my hair and just put a wig over top of it, and it's like how devastating that is to like reveal something like that. I like that moment really struck me. The part where she says that recording Glory made her feel so good,
and you could tell.
You can tell. You listen to that album,
and it's like a different person versus a Britney Jean. Even a Femme Fatale, which I like, it is a different human being with like such a point of view, and she's like, and I could see the fire in my eyes again. It's like she talks about herself because it's so funny because her Instagram reels and stuff, she often doesn't reference her own song. She doesn't. There are times when you're like, do you know how big of a deal you are? But the way she talks about the passion in her heart is how our fans talk about it. The like whole fire in your eyes thing is what you always want from Britney Spears. And so when that album came out and we listened to it, and it was so, you just could feel her in it in a way that you couldn't until like prior to the conservatorship. I'm so glad she said that because it's like, we're right about that.
It's like
album.
We could tell. Oh,
we could
the
feel
second
it.
we listened to it, we both walked in the same room and we were just like, did you listen to that.
Unbelievable.
Like, fantastic. Yeah.
And as she was like, I don't understand why these people that don't even know me are out in their Free Britney t-shirts on the street speaking truth to power, and my sister and my brother and my mom are nowhere to be found.
I know. Another thing that was striking to me was the fact she was like, I missed my AA meetings, which I went to even though I wasn't an alcoholic.
Right.
And she's like, but I just loved being there because I thought the people were wonderful and brilliant and everything. It's like, that's how she like essentially created friendships and everything, was through all of this and everything. And it was just so heartbreaking and such an interesting story to tell. And the fact that she was just like, I couldn't, do fun things in Vegas with my background dancers because I wasn't allowed to have cash.
Right. And like friends I've known since childhood would come and see me in Vegas and essentially wouldn't speak to me, and they would be drinking champagne and getting their nails done. And the thing is, I realize she's upset because of how alienating that is, of course, but I am positive every single one of those friends was told, like, by Jamie Spears or whatever was the control was, do not fucking speak to her. Do not look her in the eye. Like, the whole goal of that conservatorship was to make sure she felt as alone and helpless and lifeless as possible.
She's like, I was working 7 days a week. Like,
devastating. It's just, if you can find the link, I implore you to listen to it. It's just, again, only want good things for her. She talks about how she's excited to be putting out Hold Me Closer with one of the most brilliant men on the planet, Elton John. And I just want her happy. I think it's just unreasonable for us to request that she get over it. It's unreasonable. I feel like there are people out there who like see her Instagram post and are like, oh, she's off, unhinged. She's off the rails again. It's like, no, this is someone who has been abused systematically over the course of 15 years by the people that were supposed to protect her and love her, her closest family members. Of course, she's fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So she can make as many voice memos as she fucking wants
to. Absolutely. So there was a lot going on with Olivia Wilde and Don't Worry, Darling and Miss Flo. And so I need a little assistance from you. So essentially, from what I understand, Olivia Wilde gave an interview in which she talks about a lot of things. She talks about feeling like she was being shamed for dating Harry Styles, about being upset with Jason Sudeikis, the way that she was served at what was it, like a panel? Oh, it was at Comic-Con that she got served about her kids and, all of that situation. And she also talks about, Shia LaBeouf getting fired from the film Don't Worry, Darling. And Shia does not agree with that.
Yes.
So he responds and basically pins an open letter to Variety saying that there's a reason that, I did not get fired and I quit your film. I realize I'm persona non grata and probably always will be, which by the way, it's like, shut up. But like, I have to protect my kids, and like one day when they're able to read, they'll read this. And I think it's good that the truth is out there, not just the court of public opinion. I quit your film. You and I both know the reasons for my exit. I quit your film because your actors and I couldn't find time to rehearse. He also sends a FaceTime video from Olivia Wilde, like basically saying like, I think we can work this out, you, me, and Miss Flo or whatever. Like I realize and understand your point of view and her point of view. So clearly there's a division there. But I really don't want to give up on this. Like, what do you think? What do you say? So, which backs up what he's saying. And then after all of this drama goes down, Florence Pugh is like, I'm doing one press thing for this. I'm on the set of Dune 2. Like, I don't want to be involved.
Oh, well, the thing is, like, Florence Pugh was always like, after, when it was announced this movie was going to, leading up to the promo, leading up to the trailer and everything. I feel like Florence Pugh was always just like, I'm not doing any press for this. I am going to go to the premiere. I'm doing one press thing and that is it. So everyone was kind of like, was there trouble in paradise here? Like, did she have a bad on-set experience or anything? And now that all of this is coming out, it's kind of just like, oh, maybe this was just a mess overall, like everything involved. And she was just like, I don't want to be a part of anything that's happening. I am busy. I don't have time for this. And I did not have a good experience.
And it's like, my understanding is that Shia is difficult. And I feel like there's a lot of problematic shit about Shia LaBeouf that we all know. We don't need to dive into. But it's like, is the division just between Shia LaBeouf and Florence Pugh, or is it also between Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh, there were rumors that, you know, Olivia Wilde was spending a lot of alone time with Harry.
Well, that's where they met, right?
That's where they met.
Yeah. And so I imagine like on set, it was a lot of people being like, they're having sex.
It's just.
And Florence Pugh was probably just like, I don't have time for that.
It's just messy. Yeah. It's just like, why does it need to be like this? I wonder if we're going to get to the bottom of it. I honestly feel like if I were Olivia Wilde, I would stop giving press too, because I feel like she's an open book in a way that is usually refreshing, but here it's like, no, close the book.
No. Close the book. That Florence Pugh's like, I'm closing that book.
And you gotta close the book.
Because Florence Pugh's very much is like, look, it's not important. I'm closing the book. I'm not dealing with it. All of this being said, I'm so excited to see this movie.
Do you think it's gonna be good?
It looks so fucking good. Those two trailers are so good. Well, I also know Florence Pugh was upset because the first trailer featured a lot of sex visuals.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, that is not the movie that like I made. I think it's gross that marketing is like using those visuals and those scenes to like market this movie, like to try to like probably gain male audiences because they want to see me like being railed by Harry Styles.
I get
like,
that.
And so she felt like that was gross and everything. So, but that being said, the movie does look excellent.
What did you think of, did you see that clip of Harry Styles like in a big emotional moment that people were saying like he was just drifting in and out of many accents?
But the thing is, like, I assume he's supposed to be British because it's not like he got rid of his British accent,
right,
for that scene. So I assume he's supposed to be British for the movie.
But it's like, but were you just getting British from the clip? I'm just going off of the quote tweets.
I was getting British from the clip.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's his British. I don't know if I've ever like really paid attention.
Listen to
his natural accent. But
right.
like, I don't know. It sounded like a British accent. I was like, okay. I don't know. I didn't really have much thought.
Well, the previews do look interesting. I could see it going either way. I hope it's good. Yeah. And I guess there's a lot of, buzz around it now. People are going to be at least curious to see it.
I'm buying a ticket, guys.
I mean, any press is good press for some people. But some people also were mad at Harry Styles because he has a new Rolling Stone profile in which, not his fault, but like the Rolling Stone says like he's the new king of pop, which is like, I've let go of Michael Jackson for my reasons, but like, let's be serious. And then he goes on to talk about gay sex in a way that's a little weird. Here we go. They touch on the sex scenes in the film, and Styles says, my Policeman's director, Michael Grandage, wanted to highlight what sex is really like between two men. Styles goes on to critique sex scenes in other queer films. So much of gay sex in film is two guys going at it, and it kind of removes the tenderness from it. There will be, I imagine, some people who watch it who were very much alive during this time when it was illegal to be gay, and Michael wanted to show that it's a tender, loving, and sensitive. And people were mad. Like, the people were like, but you don't have sex with men. Like, why are you giving your feedback on other queer films? Which I think is a valid critique.
Well, I imagine he was sort of just like parroting like what he was told,
sure,
like what the director wanted, like I imagine, or what some sort of producer or something said to him, like, in a lot of movies is like gay sex is very this,
right,
and we want it to be like that. And so Harry Styles is probably like, okay, like I'll just like repeat that, right, for like these interviews and everything. Right. I mean, I hate it when like sex is like romanticized like in any way, in any direction, like, because I'm just like, it's just sex. I don't know, like when people are like, oh, the tenderness, the blah blah blah, or like, oh, it's so aggressive. It's just like, I don't know. It's somewhere in the middle.
I mean, like, to quote Janet Jackson on, I believe, the Demita Joe album After Sexhibition, relax, it's just sex.
Hey,
she's always on the money, people.
That's what I would say in every interview. Like, if I had a sex scene in a movie, I'd just be like, it's just sex, whatever.
It's just sex.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's a lot of news here. I'm trying to think what's the most important. Did you see that Barbara Ferreira is exiting Euphoria?
Yes. Apparently there's like drama on that set as well.
Right.
Any show where it's like it appeals to teenagers, is about teenagers, and like becomes like a huge cultural like moment for like a generation of teenagers. There's always a bad experience.
Always.
Like always.
There's
like,
no
there's something
way
gross about the atmosphere, like whenever I consume like with like Glee and everything.
Oh, well, Glee was cursed. Like, that was just a cursed show. And yes, I feel like the OC has drama. There's no way that all of these young people who are getting like absurdly famous in this like pressure cooker environment are going to come out unscathed and like healthy. And it seems like the creator director, Sam Levinson, I believe his name is, has his own method of filming and storytelling, which seems to be a little less like, oh, this is the shot list for the day. This is what we're doing, and a little bit more ragtag. And I don't know. I could see myself as someone who loves to plan being upset on that set.
Yes.
But maybe, I don't know what it was, but it seems like there were rumors of her storming off at a point, and now she is very all of a sudden not in the next season. She also got a very kind of reduced role at the end of the last season, I thought.
Okay, I've only seen season 1, but you know what? Teen drama had no drama on sets because I'm sure they were all professionals and wonderful and kind and sweet. Our wonderful Canadian friends up north on the set of Degrassi.
I mean, of course, it's Canadian. There's never been a problem in Canada.
There's never been a fight in Canada.
Not
guys.
one time. So yes, never been a fight in Canada. All right, what else is important?
Yes, anyway.
Anyway, what else is important? Nick Cannon is having another baby.
Saw that. Number
that.
10, right?
Number 10.
Hey, lucky 10.
Meghan Markle started a podcast.
Hey.
First guest, Serena Williams, who did she play her last game of tennis today? I felt like there was a possibility that today could have been the last time she was going to play tennis professionally, which is wild. I saw a picture of it floating around. She's done so much for all of us. Love, love, love her. And more importantly to me.
Okay.
Mariah Carey's the next guest on Meghan Markle's podcast.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Guest number 2?
Guest number 2 is Mariah Carey.
Oh,
and I believe
Meghan.
it comes out on Tuesday. So by the time that this is up and in your ears, listen. So you can go straight from 2Gay Mats to Meghan Markle and Mariah Carey. And just imagine that Matt Steele's Meghan Markle and I'm Mariah.
Okay.
Yes.
I would love to be married to a royal who, like, are we calling him a royal anymore? Because his title is no longer.
She's royal to me.
Royal.
Yes. No, I think that's very exciting. Demi Lovato is supposedly getting those former Disney stars together to make some sort of expose documentary with like the Jonas Brothers, Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez. We're going to see if that comes to pass, but I would love to see it. I feel like all of us wonder what that machine is like or was like at that time that Disney was so fucking gigantic.
Yeah, and I wonder like if she will include like prior to when she was on, like in the more early 2000s, like back when because I fell off of Disney like in like 2002-ish. Like I think like That's So Raven was the last like premiere of a news show that I was like, you know what, I think I'm done with Disney Channel. No disrespect to Miss Raven Simone, who I adore.
Of course not.
Like one of the best child actress of all time, in my opinion. But I would love to, hear about like the Lizzie McGuires and like the Even Stevens and like that, era. Or some of the actors in like the movies that they would make.
Right.
Like because there was a period of time where they were putting out a new Disney Channel original movie every single month.
It's
so
true.
They were probably cranking those out, and so sets were probably chaotic and crazy, and there were probably fights on those sets.
Absolutely, there were.
I want to know. Euphoria sets who?
I feel like it would be insane to not have Raven Simone there. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
Like maybe there will be other people of, Raven's era, but like if you don't have Raven Simone, literally just hang it up. I don't want to see it. Like she has stories to tell.
And she will tell them.
She
has never been one to mince her words.
Not once. Oh, and this is not even a big news story, but I just thought it was funny. Did you see that clip going around of Heather Morris talking about a J-Lo dance audition she went to?
Okay. J-Lo. A crazy person, confirmed.
Oh my God. It's like insane.
If this is true.
It's true.
Well, let's say what happened.
Let's say what happens. You tell them. You tell the people.
So apparently, I didn't read the whole thing, but like just the headline alone, I was like, oh, I can't engage with this because this is too dark. It's too weird. Like she said that she was auditioning for J-Lo at some point when she was a dancer, and J-Lo apparently cut all of the girls who were Virgos from the dance call.
And they had been like auditioning all day. This is a full day of work. You do not get paid for these auditions. And she literally says, okay, this was great. Can everyone who's a Virgo raise their hands? People raise their hands. She whispered to an assistant. And the assistant's just like, all right, you all can go home. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Much.
See, I figured like, man, I don't even know what I figured. At first I was like, oh, did they check the birthdays on the resume?
No.
And she just like took out all the Virgo. But then I was just like, oh wait, no, you can't have a birthday on a resume. That's like a thing.
Right.
And so damn, yes, she had to be like, who's a Virgo? That's psychotic. I am so sorry.
Is it? I mean, yes, of course this is horrible. And like no one should do this. And like I feel bad for those people who wasted an entire day working for this woman who wasn't going to hire you because of your astrological sign. I do think it's a little funny.
It's very funny.
It's a little funny.
Because like astrology people are just so crazy. Like I just like it's fun and like finding out like, oh, what's your sign, what's your rising, what's your this and everything.
Sure.
When you get to a point where like the people, it drives me nuts when people share like the memes being like, these are the signs you can't trust. And then it lists like 10 out of the 12 signs and people are like, oh my God, so true. It's just like, you're just an idiot. Like,
hey, you know J-Lo's liking those posts. You know, she's like, Virgos, can't trust them.
Because everyone is just gonna like think of someone who they know who's a Virgo and be like, all Virgos must be like this. Yes. Hey,
I love a Virgo. I'm very pro Virgo.
I mean, we love Virgo's groove. It's like if you talk about like Virgo this and the Sagittarius this, like more than twice a week.
It's too much.
You might be crazy and it's too much. Even Beyonce, she released Virgo's Groove. Did she say the word Virgo in the song at all? No. She was like, the title's enough, just once. Because I'm not a crazy person.
And it's like, so you're saying to me, if J-Lo in some weird whacked out world was in a position to hire Beyonce to work with her for any reason.
This is why they've never collabed.
I think there are many reasons why they have not collabed. But I think it's good that they stay apart. Yes. It just is. It is wild and it's like totally strange. As someone who loves crazy diva behavior, it did make me laugh.
Of course, I laughed, but I like gasped, laughed, and then like felt sad for the world.
She took us on an emotional roller coaster with that. Okay, so
that's what J-Lo does.
She does. Is there any other news that you'd like to discuss this week?
I don't think so. I mean, there's stuff to discuss, but we can talk about it later.
We can talk about it later. Okay, well, great. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for more Two Gay Mats, the podcast.
Okay, we are back.
All
right, we talked about a little bit of astrology in the live chat.
And we wanted to make a distinction between astrologers
who like actually know what they're talking about
and the pop astrology, which is all over your Instagram right now.
Yes, and that's a mess. But the section we are on now is Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at twogaymats@gmail.com. Two spelled TWO.
Do it.
So we got a couple questions this week. One question comes to us from Jessica. Jessica says, "Hi, Matt and Matt. It's the biggest Used to the Dark stan back again. I am writing this while watching last week's podcast, which has now become my new tradition to put on when I'm working from home on Mondays. The question I would love to know is for Matt Palmer, what is one pop song that you love that you wish you have written and was a part of your discography? And Matt Steele, what is one song from any musical you wish was a part of your discography as well? Like what?
Like what?
Like would I want to be like a musical I would want to be?
Or like maybe something you would be able to sing a song or like something that you
that I wish I could sing that I can't because I'm vocally limited.
She didn't say that.
I am in some aspects. Like I can't sing Alphaba. Love you both so much and miss having the time to join live chats. P.S. I would absolutely love a Devos watch along and congratulations to Matt Palmer on the release of Hurricane.
Oh, thank you. She's so kind. I'm trying to think. For some reason, my knee jerk when I first hear that is there's a song by Miss JoJo that I love so much. There are many songs from this era that I always liked a lot, like a kind of guitar pop R&B song that kind of mixes everything together. So there's a song by JoJo called Coming For You, which I always really loved and always like, oh, I wish I could write a song that good. I love that so much. It kind of is in keeping with About You Now by the Sugar Babes and Just a Little While by Janet Jackson. Very like kind of like up-tempo and feel good, but also soulful, maybe a little Prince-esque. I love songs like that. If I could have written Cuff It, Darling,
oh my God,
that would have been a great day for all involved. Like, I just love songs that are really joyful and uplifting and like masterfully crafted. And those are four that come to mind. I realize Cuff It's the only one in like current day, but I love all of them.
I mean, a big major chorus with like vocals soaring high. It's like, oh, that's a Matt Palmer song.
I love it. Like, Always Been a Baby is always the North Star for me.
I remember just a moment where I distinctly thought like Matt Palmer could have written so many of these songs on an album was Confetti by Little Mix.
Oh,
like that's an album where I was just like so many of these songs could have been penned by Matt Palmer, and a lot of those songs were written by MNEK. And it's so funny because I feel like whenever I hear an MNEK song, I'm always like Matt Palmer could have written this, and Matt Palmer's like MNEK wrote it. And
that is very kind because MNEK is so incredibly talented. So if I could.
So you agree? you're incredibly talented.
Well, I'm just saying that I appreciate the comparison. And if I were to write half as well as he can, I would feel happy.
Okay, well, we want an M&EK Matt Palmer collab.
Hello, we need it. He worked with another reactor man, Zach Campbell. He like wrote his song for him. So it's like not outside the realm of possibility.
Oh my God. Okay, M&EK.
Hello. Call me up.
Knock, knock. We have phones. I don't know why he'd be calling me, but...
You never know.
You
just
never
to
know.
hang out.
Just
Friendship.
to hang out. We're friends here. So another question came to us that's kind of sad. This question is from our dear friend Braden, who we love very much. He says, "Hey Matt, as you might recall, my Nana has been sick in the hospital, in multiple hospitals for 11 weeks to the date. Last night she passed. I'm 20 and I've never had a death. We were extremely close. I was the closest with her than any of my other cousins. She was my person and the first person to accept me for who I was. Is there any advice on how to deal or process this? I'm still in shock. Love you guys." Braden, we absolutely love you.
We love you so much. Like the positivity that you bring to the world, like is so beyond, like it goes outside of just the two of us. I think he always has the kindest things to say, and you know that they're genuine.
I know. Like, Braden is the kindest Kathy that is among the Kathys. No offense to all you other Kathys, but Braden is just such a beacon of light and joy always. And so Braden, we are so sorry to you and your family that you're going through this. I mean, I'm someone who was extremely close with my grandparents as well, and they passed away a long time ago, over 10 years ago. You know, I mean, it seems like you are one who is close with the rest of your family as well. And I mean, that's the best thing to have, honestly, like when you experience a loss, especially when it's a family member, because you're all going through that together. And I mean, you just know that just remembering the amazing times that you had together and how much this person has impacted your life that's honestly like what gets you through it. Just like the memories of them. My aunt does something that's really amazing. My aunt on my dad's side, she doesn't like going to funerals, and whenever she goes, she sits in like the lobby, like where the funeral is not happening, and just sits there with pictures of the person and just like looks at the pictures. And she's like, because I don't want the last memory of them to be like their death. I want the last memory of them to be like, you know, I want to remember these like wonderful pictures and the wonderful moments in the pictures and everything. So, I mean, that's honestly like what gets you through, you know, something like this,
right?
You know, but especially when it's family and there's other family members who are also going through it as well. So
I am very fortunate to not have lost someone who was like exceptionally close to me in my life. But from what I understand of other people's experiences, I think the best thing that you can do when grieving is to allow yourself the space to breathe, you know, to breathe and to grieve. Like I feel like there is a premium put on people to like move on or like shake it off or act like nothing's wrong. And I feel like pushing those feelings of grief down is only going to make it pop back up in ways that will be more disruptive or unexpected. Like if you are feeling sad, allow yourself to feel sad, live with it, and like have it. Like I feel like it needs to be your grandma is still going to be a part of your life and your memories of her. They will come up for you so very often, and you should not shy away from feeling any feeling related to them as that happens. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and she will be a part of your life until the end of time.
Absolutely.
Like there's so many moments where I'm just like going throughout my daily like activity and routine, and I'm doing something and I'm like, I do this way because that's how my grandmother did it.
Right.
You know, and just different life lessons that you get from them that you don't even realize were life lessons, like will just pop up in your brain, like for no reason.
Right.
Or you're in a situation where it's relevant to what's happening, and you're just like, oh my God, you know, they will be around you forever.
Yes.
Like very much so.
And like find if what you feel when you first feel those pangs is sadness, allow yourself to feel the sadness. Eventually it will be comforting. I would hope eventually the joy will stay with you. I just feel like the worst thing that we as a society do are expect people to like get over your sadness, get over your grief, like trying to convince everyone else that you're okay when you're really not is not healthy for anybody. So I would just allow yourself, don't put yourself on a timeline to like feel better.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. A good shower cry.
Hey, that's Matt Steele's move.
A shower cry, baby.
Hey.
In the shower or in the walk-in fridge in the restaurant.
Oh, interesting.
That's where I go to cry at work.
I am like not a big crier, but I'm very much like, and I don't know if this is pro or con, but I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling sad. Let me take a nap. Let me go to bed. And I don't know if that's a form of avoidance. It sounds like it is, but I do wake up feeling better.
Okay.
I do wake up feeling better.
You dream the solution.
I do. Sometimes you got to dream.
Exactly. But like Brayden also sent us another question.
Oh yeah,
like previously, so we'll answer the happy question from Brayden as well.
Let's hear it.
Basically, I was wondering what some of your favorite movies were, particularly from the 80s or 2000s.
Dreamgirls, I love so fucking much, and Matt Steele talks shit about it, and I really love it.
I do not talk shit about it. All I say is there are things I love from the stage production that could have been implemented more in the movie.
It was, I think, of any movie release, the one that I was the most excited for, and I felt like it.
I still saw it 3 times in the theaters.
Hey, I think I saw it 4. We were right there. We could have been in a theater together. Didn't even know.
And honestly, you are always the one to say that movies didn't exist for you until Mean Girls.
Oh, I didn't. I just would I'd see movies, they'd wash over me. I'd remember nothing. But then Mean Girls, like Tina Fey's writing is so fucking brilliant. And like the fact that those jokes are like one on top of the other. I'm a big 30 Rock person. Like I love Tina Fey's writing so much. So yes, of course, I mean, basic gay answer, but it's a brilliant, brilliant movie.
Being a teenager in Mean Girls era, when Mean Girls came out, I remember sitting in the theater expecting with my friends being like, oh, this is just going to be funny and cute or whatever. And then as it was going, I was like, oh, no, this movie's like exceptionally funny.
Brilliant.
And then like in the last third, I was like, oh no, this movie's important. Like this movie is so brilliant and layered, and I could go on forever about it. But my personal favorite movies, my favorite movie of all time, I talk about a lot, is the movie Parenthood, starring Steve Martin, Diane Wiest, Jason Robards, Mary Steenburgen. Movies from the late 80s, early 90s that are family movies, like family-friendly comedies in that era. That's like my bread and butter. The Sister Acts, the A League of Their Owns, like stuff like that.
I heard that series is great on Amazon Prime.
I hear it's great too, and I would want to
it.
watch it, but you know, it takes me a while to like commit to I'm going to watch this on television. So that's like my era of film that I absolutely love because it just had everything to me. In terms of movie musicals, because they're my favorite thing on the planet, my top 3 are The Sound of Music, Fiddler on the Roof, The King and I. I think those are 3 perfect movie musicals.
All right.
And before we get on to Give Me Moments, I just want to say Montana just popped up in our live chat. And she hasn't joined us for a while, and she says, I am in my Reputation era, and I'm back. We love you, Montana.
We love you, Montana. Welcome back.
Okay.
All right. So Matt Steele.
Yes.
I have a question for you, darling.
Ask me the question.
What has been giving you moments?
Okay. So first of all, that student debt relief. Joe Biden, you're kicking the month of August for Joe Biden has been
brilliant.
So kick-ass, amazing. The idea is so amazing because everyone's like, he can't do it by executive order because then the extremely conservative Supreme Court will overturn it. But they found a way to get it done through the HEROES Act, which was passed during the Bush era, and they found a way to make that work. And the fact that it was a surprise, like everyone was expecting $10,000. The fact that it's $20,000 for people who are eligible for Pell Grants. It will help out so many people. I believe they're estimating about 20 million people are going to be debt free from student debt because of this. Such an amazing feat. Everyone vote in November.
It also is, sorry, just to say, the fact that there were so many people who were like, well, what has Joe Biden really done? You can't fucking say that now. You cannot look at yourself in the mirror and really, truly believe that he is like a lame duck president or whatever people were trying to say about him, and up against the fucking Senate and House that it's not easy. The fact that he's dealing with these people who don't want him to succeed, and the fact that he's getting as much done that he is, let's celebrate that.
Guys, as much as you want to read about horrible things, he has accomplished the most big legislative feats since Lyndon B. Johnson in the 60s. He has had the most big accomplishments, especially in the first 2 years of his presidency. And Lyndon B. Johnson had a 60 to 40 something or 60 to, I can't do math, 60 to whatever, majority in Senate. And Joe Biden has a 50-50 split in the Senate. So what Joe Biden has accomplished in his not even 2 years of presidency is fucking incredible.
Yes.
Incredible.
Give the man his flowers.
Give the man his flowers. But let's talk about Big Brother.
Jesus Christ. Guys, I feel like I'm going to be on my deathbed, and the last words I will hear when Matt Steele's in the room is like, "You want to hear about Big Brother? Do you hear what was on the live feeds?" Is like, why am I getting BB updates, tweets every time I look?
You don't understand. It's because when you are following people 24 hours a day, it becomes your life, and you become an obsessed psychopath.
Clearly.
And so, but when I tell you, the feeds, the past 2 weeks, but yesterday especially, absolutely psychotic. And so, have you heard anything about what has been happening?
I hear Turner's the head of household, and
that's my boy. I love Turner.
He just backdoored Kyle, or someone took someone off the veto.
That's a spoiler.
Well, I said it, bitch. It's happened.
Okay, so there was a big alliance in the house with a bunch of people, mixed races and everything. There was a contestant named Kyle who grew up Mormon. He's no longer Mormon, but grew up in Utah, lives in his parents' basement. He's almost 30 years old, and his profession is he makes TikToks of himself twerking. He has like 500,000 followers. But you watch him and you're like, first of all, he's someone who you would watch him and you'd be like, oh, that's a 21-year-old, not a 29-year-old. But
right.
It's like he even admits, I lived a very sheltered life. And so you can kind of just tell. So last season, there was an alliance called The Cookout. And it was because after 21 years of the show being on TV, there had never been a black winner. The Cookout were 6 black contestants in the season, and they were like, no matter what, we are sticking together to get a black winner. They made it, they strategized, and they were brilliant.
Good for
them.
them.
They made it to the final 6, so they were guaranteed a black winner. And while, that season was happening, they were kind of like, oh, we're a little worried that like next season or like seasons afterwards, people are going to go after all the black contestants thinking that there's another Cookout. Well, a couple weeks ago, Kyle approached another contestant named Michael who was in his alliance, and he was like, I'm seeing the reasons why people are here, and like Taylor, who is black, she has told me that she doesn't want to put up another black woman, and Joseph, who is Middle Eastern, says he wants to represent for Middle Eastern people in the season, and so I feel like there are a bunch of people here who are here for bigger reasons outside of the house. So I feel like me, you, Britney, and Turner and Alyssa, who were the 5 white
I was going to say, are all these people
left,
white?
We should stick together and try to get the other people out. One of those other people that he was not including in the white alliance is a Brazilian girl. He's like, yeah, Indy, she's Latina, so she's got to be a part of their group as well. He's like, what if there's a big alliance between all of them? And Michael was just like, and Michael, who's incredibly smart, he's just a defense attorney and he's killing this season. He was like, I don't see that pattern happening with them, especially because we've gotten rid of like contestants of color.
Right.
There isn't an alliance. I don't think you're correct, Kyle. And you can tell Michael was a little like, ooh.
And weren't they originally in the leftovers? Like, wasn't Kyle originally? Okay.
Yes. And so then he approaches Britney, who's Michael's biggest ally, and he tells Britney this, and Britney's just like, I don't like that, and I don't like the optics of that. Like you have to think about what that implies. I don't want to play that kind of game. Like Britney was very much shook by it. So then you think like that was a bad moment, and you think like, okay, we're moving on from this. There's a big twist last week where the house gets split up and there are 2 separate games of Big Brother happening at once. It was a brilliant twist and it really shook up the house, and I was so excited about it, even though it got rid of one of America's favorites. And so Kyle aligns with the side of the house that he was on and everything. He tries to go after Michael this week. Michael goes, I have dirt on Kyle about something that has been making me and Britney uncomfortable. And he's like, since Kyle has decided to strike, I am going to try to get Kyle out this week. And so yesterday, Michael and Britney met up with a bunch of different people and told them this is what Kyle's plan was a couple weeks ago. He wanted essentially to create this white alliance without saying those words. And everyone was just like, whoa. And so it is just creating a giant clusterfuck of like the people watching and the people in the house. And Kyle got wind that this is what Michael was revealing, and just, these are all spoilers, by the way. Sorry. And just had a meltdown in the diary room, and feeds were down for a long time. People thought he was going to self-evict, and a lot of people are very everyone is angry in the house, but a lot of people watching are very angry, not just at Kyle, obviously, but like at Michael and Britney for like holding on to this information and not like telling Kyle, like, you are wrong. This is why, this is what it is implying. That is bad. Do not think like that. And they're essentially, and people are angry that these two are essentially using this
as like a game move,
as a strategic game move and everything. So it's like, there are just a lot of weird feelings that are involved in things that have been happening in the house. It's extremely compelling, and I truly don't know what to make of it. It's so dramatic, and so giving me moments. I can't say this is giving me a good moment. It's just giving me a whoa moment.
I mean, who's probably thrilled about this? That guy Daniel.
Oh my God. Like,
who everyone fucking hated because he was so mean to Taylor.
He was the villain of the season.
I'm sure all y'all couldn't pick him out of a lineup at this point.
Exactly. And the thing is, he is home now. And the thing is, since he's been home, he's started to like lean into his villainness and like posting himself online, being like, fuck these people, like fuck this person, like that. And now like releasing merch of like him with like a clown nose, being like, I was such a clown in the house and everything. And it's kind of like, okay, the fact that you're like leaning into this is like kind of funny, but like, because it's just like the all day. It's like something that people would do in reality TV like 12 years ago on Big Brother. Like, totally. It's like, oh, I want to be the villain and everything. So the fact that he's doing it now, I'm like, I guess girl, do what you got to do. But yeah, now nobody's talking about Daniel, and because it's and I mean, hey, like Big Brother started off at its core as a social experiment to see people from all different backgrounds get together and to reveal problems and blind spots that everyone has and everything. And this is certainly one, especially for a man who grew up in Utah as a Mormon and didn't get to meet that many people throughout his life. And so it's just been a time.
I mean, it's just there's so many racists in the world, and like you can give any reason to it as you want to. What this person, Kyle, what I have been just told, that's a fucking racist. Like whether or not he wants to admit it, whether or not we like to label people love to say being called a racist is worse than being racist. But like what you're doing is racist, like period. So all I can judge you on is your actions. So I hope this racist gets kicked out. And like, sure, it's a little gross that it's being used in a game move, but he's going to sit on that stage with Julie, confronted with what he did. And though, that's what happens.
I know. It's just like, I wonder what's happening in the live finale or the live show when he's evicted. Like, what's Julie going to ask him? Because Julie can go for the jugular. If like when Aaron season 15 was.
Oh, fuck Aaron.
I
hate her.
Like when she was evicted and Julie just flat out said, these are the racist things you said in the house.
Iconic.
What do you have to say about that? It was just like, whoa.
Get her, Julie.
Like, get her, Julie.
And I'm never on, Miss Moonvest's side, but that was good.
It's Mrs. Moonves. Thank you.
Fuck her too. Well, thank you for the recap.
I tried to do it as fast and succinctly as possible. There were so many details I left out.
I appreciate that. And tell me what I need to bleep as far as spoilers go, or if like we know everything.
And it's so annoying because like that twist really like refreshed the game, and for a game to be like and the house dynamics to be refreshed like at the top 8 when it's like in the last third of the season or like nearing the last third, like has never been done before. It was a successful like twist as far as that goes, and I was so excited about it. And then all of this had to come tumbling down, and I was like, oh God,
wow,
I can't bear anymore, but I will.
I know you will.
All right, what's been giving you moments, Matt Palmer?
I mean, for me, I just feel like the Seattle trip. I feel like I already talked about how wonderful it was, but it really is lovely for so many reasons, just to like get away from work. Because sometimes you get sucked into like work and like to get mad stuff and like what we're doing and like just like the rat race of it all. And I feel like that trip to Seattle to see one of my oldest and closest friends, it's just like, it's so lovely to see him doing so well. And like, this is someone I've known for so long, for like over half my life.
Oh, and Justin is an angel sent from above.
He is an angel. Like, I mean, an angel with, a sharp tongue.
An angel with a sharp tongue.
Because he'll shade you down. And we love that about him.
There's a line in Devos that I stole from Justin himself.
I remember that.
Yes.
I remember it happening in your script. And I remember it happening in person. And so Justin is just so much fun. And he's doing so well for himself. And it just is so great to reconnect with people. And like reconnect. I mean, we text every day. But it's just lovely to see people in life doing great things. It's just a reminder that like, sure, work can be stressful. The day-to-day can be stressful. But like the people that you love and that are around you a lot, or even sometimes, like that's what life's really about. I just kept thinking like, oh, when I retire, we're gonna like hang out so much.
It's gonna be so much fun.
It's gonna be so much fun.
But you're gonna be so tired.
I will be tired and my body will hurt. I will be old, but like I'm ready for it.
Everybody just move close together.
It's true. We should all be together.
But I hear like the best time in Seattle is like close to this. Like I hear September, October is like peak Seattle time to visit
gorgeous.
Seattle.
It truly was gorgeous.
Basically September.
And we went to the pier where the real world Seattle was, where I mean it's clearly not like a real world house anymore. But I showed Justin a video, and like Jackson and Andy, Justin's boyfriend, a video of the slap when Steven slapped Irene.
Were you at the spot where the slap happened?
Yes,
Why didn't you recreate it for the TikTok? I don't know.
I didn't, I'm not a TikToker. There's only so much time.
But I slapped Jackson.
I did not want to slap my loving boyfriend, but it was nice to recreate it. So remember, and it's like, remember when I was in 5th grade watching the show I shouldn't have been watching? And now I'm finally here. I don't know. It just was a lovely, lovely weekend. And I'm excited that next week is Labor Day. I'm having another 3-day weekend. And
I am not excited for Labor Day.
I know that's not as fun for you.
Monday holidays at restaurants, guys, are the like worst thing on the planet. So pray for me.
I mean, you will be in my prayers.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited that Taylor's coming back. I am excited for all the good music from people we really care about this year.
Beyonce and Taylor in not just 1 year, in a span of like 3 months.
Iconic.
Psychotic. like how dare this? Because the thing is, like, it will never happen again. They will never release the same year again.
I mean, who knows? But like,
and if Act 2 comes,
it's just an embarrassment of riches. Like, I love watching the pop girls that we've grown up with and like have been riding with for decades now be on the top of their game, still be able to pull those headlines, be the superstars. Like, they're the ones to beat. Like, we love every new artist, but they're up here.
Like, I think of the shelf life of like pop stars, and just thinking about like, I think about Beyonce still, and I'm like, oh, but she's still a new artist, because I remember so vividly Destiny's Child and her breaking off from Destiny's Child, because it feels like yesterday. And then just thinking, it's like, oh no, that was almost 2 decades ago.
Yes.
And the fact that she is still the biggest music act alive right now,
truly amazing,
and is still changing the course of pop culture as we speak and as we breathe, is amazing. Even like Taylor's been around for almost 2 decades
which
now.
is crazy.
It's crazy.
I remember first listening to Our Song, which was the Taylor Swift song that really got me. And I remember like being on a bus from New York to visit a friend at UVA, listening to Fearless the whole way down. And it's just like, it's crazy. I love that they're here. I'm so happy that they're here. Even if I shade some of Taylor's songs, I love her. Okay.
Listen. To the song here in my heart.
We are alone at a crossroads. I have nothing else to say, but this was great.
This was lovely.
I'm so glad we get to connect on a Monday.
I know. Oh, it's been so long. It's been a week and a day.
I know. It's been so long. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And we'll be back next week with more 2 Gay Mats, the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.